Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Abe with MysticGenMara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And tonight, whenever you happen to be seeing this, I would like to offer the elemental energy reading for the elemental energy of air for October of 2025. Air covers the zodiac signs of Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So if you're Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or have air high up in your chart, then this one is for you. If you've never had your charts read, there is a link in the description to a base birth chart. Gives you your 12 houses with all little signs and symbols, and then there's a 10 to 20 page description of what all that means. And then there's a small section in there on your elemental alignment, and it's surprisingly more, when you first start out, that's a bit more accurate than the rest because you have to get into to understand a lot of that, but their elemental alignment is like a good snapshot of who you are as a person in that moment, so that's kind of fun. With that, we'll get started. I cast the I-ching hexagram before the video. So air, you have number 44, and it is called contact, and then there's in parentheses sexual contact, meetings, and etc. So it could be an interesting month for you, air, in October. It says contact. Women wield the power, do not marry. And basically this is saying that this is not a good time for finalizing a relationship in that aspect, air. So this is a good time to kind of plan for things, work towards them. But what I'm getting right now is this is really a good time to put long-term big contracts on pause because there's something that may not be as clear, especially for air, that you would like to have. So let's break down these lines. We're starting with our foundation line here, down here on the bottom. The chariot wheel is held with a metal brake. Persistence in a righteous course brings good fortune. Those with a goal or destination in view will witness misfortune. However, even a lean pig is able to wiggle in its trotters. What are trotters? So basically this is saying that there's something going to be slowing you down, but staying focused on the righteous path is the way to bring good fortune. You don't want to get too focused on, I have to reach this end goal. And that's where they're saying at the beginning here, you want to make sure that you're double checking everything. Don't finalize plans this month. This is not the time for that. You really want to be looking ahead, and that's what they're really saying with the trotters is even a lean pig, even if you're being really slow about the progress, you're still going to end up in a successful place, but don't focus on the goal exclusively. There's something that's not quite clear, whether that is in a relationship, like the marriage part of it, there's something that's just not quite right there yet, or you're missing something, or it could be like a business contract or promotion where they're like, you need to take this, and it's like, no, something's fishy here. Double check everything this month. So your second line, there is fish in the bag, no error, but it is of no advantage to the guests. Basically, you have a lot of talents and gifts, and that's where that no error comes in. So you're okay. But the people around you are confused. Like, why aren't you using this? Why aren't you sharing this? You push forward. Go ahead and do the marriage. Accept the contract. This is not the time, and you know that. That's why the fish is still in the bag. You haven't shared it with anyone else because air, you're wise beyond your years in this instance. So you know that this is not the time nor the place. Your third place line, his haunches have been flayed, and he walks totteringly, trouble but no great error. Those around you right now, air, just as a heads up, you might have a couple of people who you thought were friends who are really getting vicious about the fact that you're just putting some stuff on pause. You're slowing down some motion here for a second because and I don't care if you're male or female, that there's something's missing here, whether it is someone with the wedding party is not being up front, or there's an issue with the venue and you don't really realize it yet, some hidden costs and things like that. Or it could be, if it's a work related thing, it could be the fact that this contract requires way more of your time, but they're trying to push you into it and they're trying to bully you into it, and you may not get the pay that you were told in the first or whatever. That's why this is the time to double check everything. And there may be those coworkers, quote unquote, friends, or it could be a social friend that's just really being a brat about this, saying you just need to do it. And that's where you're getting those haunches are flayed, because you're still going forward. You're just doing it at your own pace because you're paying attention, Air. That's a good thing. Your fourth place line: no fish in the bag. This gives rise to misfortune. So this is saying, because you have put some things on pause, you've slowed some stuff down, it's kind of forced isolation, because you're paying attention to details, you're paying attention to the bigger picture, and there's, things just aren't adding up here. 2 and 2 are equaling 5, and you're like, there's a problem. So you're stepping back, and that's where it's giving rise to misfortune. Other people are pulling back, going, oh, well, I guess you didn't want the promotion. You do, but you're not going to be foolish about it. You're going to follow that righteous path, because there's something here that's not quite right. That's why you will end up successful, and why they will be the ones with egg on their face. So, our fifth place line: the meddler leaves wrapping the melon hide its beauty. Something falls from heaven. This is saying that just because the outside is dirty, and that's how they're pointing at you, like, can't believe you. But the melon is hiding the beauty, meaning the stuff that you're ignoring or you're slowing down is actually hiding the gift that you truly have. And something falls from heaven. This is where the heavens, God, source divine, your guides and guardians, they're going to reward the fact that you have chosen to really pay attention to your intuition, and you've chosen to not just bully through this. Instead, you're taking your time, you're double checking all the little dots, making sure every jot and tittle is correct. And those are real words, by the way. That way you can actually move with the goal in mind to advancement, but you're doing it in the proper way, where you're not going to get cheated along the way, and you're not going to have someone basically try to stab you in the back, because there's this energy of not knowing. Something's fishy behind the scenes here, and that's why the universe is saying, Air, this is not the time to rush into anything. Take your time. So our capstone here is, it rubs against things with its horns, regret but no error. And this is where by the end of this month, Air, you're going to have this feeling like you're just kind of been run through the ringer. And the universe is saying it's okay. You may have had to deal with a lot, especially with those people who are trying to bully you into something. You may end up feeling a little bit tired. That's where it rubs its horns against something and it feels exhausted. And it's not that you did anything wrong. It's the fact that you stuck to your morals, you stuck to the righteous path, and that persistence in the righteous path, your morals, your ethics, the code of conduct you hold yourself to, and that's bothered other people. And because there's been this constant pushback from these people who are not looking out for your best interests, it's actually made you kind of a little tired. But the beauty of it is, because something has fallen from heaven, you've been blessed. Things are going to work out okay. And those people, they may not be in the scene anymore because they were being too much of a unpleasant person, we'll put it. So with that, we'll hop into the tarot and the oracle cards. We'll break it down week by week, see what new information might come through. Hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video, comment, let me know your thoughts, feelings, and opinions. Also, if you see something different in the cards, because I read intuitively, feel free to drop your intuitive guidance down below. You might bring something up that someone else missed, or that I missed, someone else needs to hear. So with that, we'll go through each week. We look at a guide or guardian. We look at a message from source, which is positive, divine guidance, and then we look at a message from the tarot. So your first week's guide or guardian, this is a perfect way to start this month because it's going to be a little bit hectic. The first week of October is the pig, maintaining self-worth with self-esteem. You have Archangels Gabriel and Uriel, and you have Mother Mary as well. So this is really about not worrying about what other people think of what's going on around you, not worrying so much about the outside shell, which it talks about that with the I-ching as well, with that the dirty leaves basically wrapping the beauty of the melon. There's such a beautiful soul inside you that this part doesn't really matter. And that's where the pig doesn't care if it's laying in mud or if it's not. That's where you are. You don't have to worry about what they're doing. They're causing their own chaos, and they will have their comeuppance from it. And so what this energy is coming in with this particular crowd is Gabriel's coming in with the emotional support. Like, you got this. You don't need this nonsense. Uriel is very foundational. It's earth energy, so you have a little water and earth coming in here. And so there's a push to structure, like setting a firm foundation of, actually, I believe in myself. I believe in my own intuitive guidance. I believe in my connection to God, Source Divine, and I'm worthy of this connection. And that actually lifts your self-esteem, which is what Uriel is like, dude, just step up. You don't have to worry about them. Stand firm in your beliefs, and the rest of them can just stand out there and be chaotic all day long. You don't have to worry about them, Air. And then you have Mother Mary being the ultimate comforter coming in saying, my child, let's go this direction. So you really have a strong start to this month. Your message from Source is the empathic starseed, energetic sovereignty, being in control of yourself. Excuse me. Absorbing what's not yours. So this is really saying you want to hold the card up. You want to hold your energy in. You want to be focused on who you are at your core. Do not bring in other people's nonsense. That's where the pig is like, I'm happy over here. I don't need you because you're just causing chaos. And that's what this is saying is you have, not all of you though, Air. There's a section of you who are very intuitive and very empathic, and you tend to feel what other people are dealing with, and it may not be a full empathy in that aspect because that's not usually a gift Air has, but you have sympathy, we'll go with that one, for the situation, and that is allows some of their energy to maybe trickle in, and that's where you hold that energetic sovereignty. That's not my problem. I can observe it, I can understand to my knowledge what's going on, but I'm not bringing you in here. You stay over there. And when we're talking about, like with the I-ching, it's talking about there's these connections that are coming in, this contract and this energy, and that's what they're saying is there's someone trying to manipulate you and the situation for their benefit, not for yours, Air. This is not, they're trying to do this for themselves. They have their own shadow dominant, ego dominant, selfish needs, and that's not what's going to work best for you in the long run. That's why the energy that's coming in right now is saying, pause, take a breath, don't rush into anything, read through the contracts, double check every step, because there's something that is not being told to you. There's some kind of an illusion or deception at play here. Your message from the tarot is number 13. This is the death card in the traditional tarot. In this deck, it's the peace card with Archangel Azrael. Release the past. There's a more enriching future coming. Let go and let God. With this one, it's time to let go of the things that used to be. This is where those other people, those coworkers who actually at one point were helping build you up, but now you're in a position where you can actually step into an authority position, like the work one. They're not going to be your friends because they're trying to manipulate the situation to benefit them, not you. They really don't care about you that much. And then if it's in a relationship situation, this is where somebody is being a little bit manipulative, and in reality, this could be a lot of different people. It could be an in-law, it could be the person with the venue, it could be the caterer. There's something here that's really trying to manipulate, and that's where you just have to let them go. You might have to switch some things up, Air. I'm hearing that this might be the time to maybe switch venues. You had your dream on that one, but something's fishy. But don't worry, Source is going to bring in the better place. It might not be exactly what you thought it would, but it's going to end up actually being the perfect place. So be open to some shifting and changing this month, but don't let others manipulate the situation. You're the one that's in control of your own energy. So your second week's guide or guardian is the kangaroo. Be a force for good with Archangel Rachiel. Garcisa and Sandalphon. Again, we're working with some of that earth energy. So air, this might be a bit of a challenge for this first couple of weeks. And being a force for good, sticking to that righteous persistence, that righteous path. Follow your heart's leading. Stay with your morals, that code of conduct, those ethics that you carry, stick with those. It doesn't matter what other people are telling you. You are here to walk your own path, whether that's at your work, at your business, or in your personal life. This is not a time to be manipulated or bullied. And there is this energy that's coming up where there's some energy, there's something coming in, and this is not offensive, I'm not meaning it this way, but I'm feeling it's a little bit of a feminine energy that is being a little bit more like, oh, you think you're going to do it your way? We're not. We're going to do it this way. And it doesn't matter what gender that is, because I've met men that carry feminine energy, so don't take it like that. But it's more of a subtle energy. That's, I guess, a better term for it. It's going to be more subconscious. It's going to be more subtle jabs, more passive-aggressive type stuff. So be aware of that, but stay the force for good. Work with your guides. Work with Sandalphon. He's really actually kind of a fun angel to work with, but don't let others push you around. That's a big aspect of what's coming up here, Air. Your message from Source is the lost lands, soul memories, and gifts. You've done this before. The path that you are on right now, Air, might be something new. It might be a new relationship. It might be a new promotion at a new business you've never worked at before. But Source wants to tell you this is not a new experience for you. You've done this before. You've been through this situation, whether it was in this life or a past life. You have already done this. It could be an interdimensional life too. There's that option. That's where you already know how it turns out if you don't take the right steps. You also know how it turns out when you do. And this is the reminder from Source that you're not walking you're not walking this path alone, and B, you already know the right direction to go to make this successful. Stick with what your heart is leading you to, and work your intellect into that. That's that wisdom part, because knowledge plus experience is wisdom. You already have the wisdom, meaning you do know what's going to happen if you don't follow the morals, codes, and ethics. So, the message from Tarot is the Four of Ariel. When you give, you receive, being resistant to change, extremes in how you spend or save money. With this one, this is tying into that energy of, you've already been here, you've already done this. The giving and receiving is something that is natural, but you've also already done this. And resistance to change, that's where that energy tying into the kangaroo comes in. Don't be locked into just one aspect. There could be something different coming forward for you, and when that happens, are you ready to take that option? Because, like I said, there is something is being a little shady here, and the universe is saying, don't worry about it. If that one falls through, we have other options. And that's where you don't want to be resistant to shifting things around if that's the best option for you. So it's a good time to maybe practice a little bit of that flexibility. Your third week's guide or guardian is the bat, seeing through illusions into truth. This is perfect for air, and it's with Archangel Dorenka. Not familiar with this angel, but the bat I am. The bat is such a beautiful guide because they see in the dark. They see through echolocation, and they hear everything. They're super sensitive hearing, and they're actually really adorable little mice with wings. We used to catch them on the side of our house all the time when I was growing up. So they always travel in a way that they dodge most everything. Once in a while they're a little dumb, but for the most part they see through the illusions. They see in the dark. They see all of the goodies and they dodge all the headaches. And this is where air is really talented, gifted, divinely blessed, I guess you could say, because your element is air and your weapon in the tarot is the sword. The bat sees through the illusions. Air, you cut through the illusions. So this is a perfect alignment, saying this third week you will be using your natural gifts, your natural talents, all of the things that you've done for years, literally, whether you are consciously aware of your spiritual gifts or not. You've been using them because you just kind of know when someone's not being truthful. You just know when something is fishy. And a lot of people be like, oh, your intuition. Air, you're calculating that. you're like 1 and 1 and 1 and 1. This is not equaling the right number here. There is something going on. And that's where that bat energy in this third week is saying, you have the tools, use them. Your message from source is the Star Keeper. Cosmic ancestors seed the light by staying grounded. This is also part of that bat energy, is they stay grounded in the fact that they just know who they are. And this is what is a reminder to you. Keep who you are at the present moment. You know who your soul is. You know where your alignment is, air. Don't forget that. Other people are trying to knock you off your stability, off of your balance, out of the now moment, because they're trying to force you into, we use the new fancy term FOMO, fear of missing out. And that's not the case. You're not missing out by not taking what they're pushing on you. You might mess things up. You might end up with some unexpected consequences if you just jump both feet in without looking at all the details. That's what you're being called to do. And cutting through that illusion, that's where you start to realize maybe that person's not as much of a friend as you thought. They're out for their own needs. It may not be a good pick for the caterer, because they said they're really great and they've been to all these places if you're looking at the wedding aspect. And then you start to look at the reviews and it's like, how did everyone get food poisoning? Like, this is where you're cutting through the illusion because you're doing your own research. So let's look at your tarot and see what else source is going to bring through for you. This deck is usually pretty talkative, and tonight it's decided to be a little quieter. So, your message from the tarot for the third week is the 10 of Gabriel. You've had Gabriel come up twice now, so that's pretty cool. If you've never worked with Gabriel, it's the Archangel of the West. I've done a video on her. I see Gabriel as a her. The angels don't really have gender, but some of them have more distinctive qualities. But yeah, you can check that out. It's actually a lot of fun. She's a really fun angel to work with. Ask your angels for helpful people to lighten your load. Working too many hours and trying too hard to please others. This is that reminder, air, that you do not have to do stuff just because someone is like, oh, this is a perfect opportunity. You don't want to miss it. Oh, you just need to take this because it'll help all of us out. Okay, well, that's not helping you. That's helping them. And the 10 of Gabriel is wanting to let you know that you need to follow your code of conduct. What's best for you? They're going to squawk and carry on no matter what, whether it was you or someone else. They're just still going to try to manipulate the situation for their benefit. And that's not going to benefit you, air. So just work on your own focus right now. Stay true to your own soul's journey and let them figure their own headaches out, because that's not your problem. And Gabriel is a great one to just kind of help you let things fall off your back so it's not a problem for you. And it's also a good way to kind of see the emotional undertones behind things. I know that's not something you usually want to do, but this is a good time to maybe explore that a little bit and be like, oh, that's what's going on. Knowledge is power, and air, you love knowledge. So your fourth week's guide or guardian is the rhinoceros. Be strong and courageous with archangels Sandalphon and Rachiel. So Gabriel and Sandalphon are popping up. That would probably be a good combo to work with this month. The rhinoceros is saying, when you stand in your authority, when you stand in your talents, in your skills, you have the knowledge. Air, you don't have to question it. You already know what you're doing. You don't have to worry about them. But I will say this. When you start to stand on your own 2 feet, when you first step out and say no, when you first step out and say, you know what, I'm going to research this more. Give me a minute. I'm going to put this on pause. That takes a lot of courage. You're going to get pushback, guaranteed. And that's where in the I-ching it talks about flaying the thighs and they totter forward, but they still keep moving. That's where you're going to start to really see the true colors of these other people. And the rhinoceros is coming forward to say, battered or abused, you're still going forward. You're still going to be able to succeed. We're talking emotional stuff here. We're not talking physical, I hope. If that happens, there's law enforcement. Deal with them because that's not good. But really what we're hearing here is this is no matter what else they're saying, and they might get a little vicious with their words, that's not your deal. It might slow you down, you might make you question some things, but remember your first week, you had the pig coming through with self-esteem and self-worth saying, I don't really have to worry about what those people think because I know who I am. And the rhinoceros is saying, be strong, be courageous. It takes bravery to say no to your friends. It takes bravery to say no, or at least wait a minute, to opportunities, because they might look like they're really good, but when you flip them over, that apple you were going to buy, it's full of worms. So you want to make sure this month in October to really be paying attention to that, air. Your message from source is the void. Stop, embrace the winter, the cosmic womb. Pause. Take a breath. It doesn't have to be today. This fourth week is the reminder, because they're going to wear you down a little bit. But this fourth week is the universe coming in to say, don't worry, things are working out. Just take a breath. Your real mission, your journey, the goals that you have are in the cosmic womb. They are in the ground. They are planted. And when we look at it from the perspective of embracing the winter is not a time of everything dies and nothing ever comes back. It's a time of peace. It's a time of rest. The land rests, we rest. Well, some people go skiing and carry on, but it's usually about more quiet times. It's not as active in the world. So, but it's also not a time that says everything dies. It might seem like that on the surface, but how many times do you have to replant your grass? Never? Oh, because it's asleep. It's in the cosmic womb, and that's where your goals are. Everything's going to happen. Everything's going to play out. The I-ching talks about your success is coming. Pay attention to what's going on in the moment. This is the pause period, and this is the reminder that it might seem like things are falling apart in this fourth week, but that is not true. They're in the ground. They're sprouting. Give them time. They'll come up. So your message from the tarot is number 16, Change Your Life with Archangel Kamael, a sudden revelation that offers freedom, breaking free of procrastination, embracing the opportunities that change brings. This is where you don't want to get too locked into only one path to the goal. This is the universe showing you that there are other options available. There's other ways to get to this part of your life, the success and rewards. It's not just that one path. Like with the work situation, it doesn't have to be that exact promotion. Barter that thing. Sit down with a lawyer and be like, this isn't working. How are we going to offer an alternative? Then you get to literally, barter is the word that's coming to mind. But you get to haggle over the offers, counteroffer and counteroffer. Get the things that you want in that agreement. And if it's a relationships thing, and they keep bringing up the wedding part, so we'll go with that, it could be that caterer is just not the right caterer. There might be another one that might have cost a little bit more, and you're like, you know what, let's barter with this one. Let's offer a counteroffer and see if we can fix this. And you might just get the perfect caterer at the perfect location at the perfect time that you were planning the wedding anyway, but not in the way you expected. That particular promotion might fall through, but then the people who are above that position might be willing to put you in that position. So there's a lot of different ways this is going to play out. That's why the universe is saying, don't get stuck to one outcome. Be flexible with what is coming. The success is going to happen. Just might not be the way you thought. So, with our last week's guide or guardian, we have the horse, caring for others and letting them be free, with Archangel Christiel and Mother Mary. So this is saying, you don't have to do everything yourself. You don't have to do everything for other people either. This is where you let them take care of themselves. The people who are trying to push you in, and they keep pushing this job thing, so we'll go with that. The people who are trying to push you into that work situation, they're doing it because they want to be able to manipulate you. So you want to make sure that you are very clear on what it is you're after. And you know what? Maybe letting them figure out their own headaches is a better option. Like, you go over there. I'm going to let you, I'll be alone, because I'm not putting up with or dealing with your nonsense. And in the relationship thing, that letting that other caterer go free may just be the best option. Let them fail on their own time, because it's not worth it for you. And that's what they're wanting to bring forward, is because you are doing the right thing, because you are staying on that righteous path, and you're focusing on that, not so much the outcome. That's important, but that's not the focus this month. You're focusing on the right things. That's going to lead to the success that you've been seeking. That's going to lead to the outcome that you are actually wanting. But you didn't rush into it. You paid attention. You read the room, and you let the universe guide you into the best possible action. And it may not be the way you thought it would happen, but that's okay, Air. So, your message from Source is the inner Earth. You'll survive this. Of course you will. New solutions and new beginnings. Again, you'll get where you need to be. It may not show up in the way you thought, which, to be perfectly honest with you, the best things in life usually show up in the way that you didn't expect it. But you get exactly what you need. And that's the energy of the inner Earth, is it may not show up in the way you thought. It may show up in a way that is completely on its head from what you originally thought. You could get that caterer that everyone has been trying to get, and you were like, I'll never get that person. They just happen to have an opening at that exact time. It could be that position that you were looking at is actually 3 below where you actually end up, because you're so overqualified for it. And these yahoos that were bickering and carrying on, they totally missed shot, and you're so far above them now you'll never have to deal with them again. Or you could get headhunted to a different company altogether and dodge that whole mess. There's a lot of ways this could play out for you. They're just saying this is not a time to compromise who you are, your goals, your ethics, your morals. Stay true to who you are, and everything's going to play out very well, just not the way you expected it. And for example, your message from the tarot, number 21, the World, with Archangel Michael, a happy ending, coming full circle, spiritual growth and insight. Air, this is going to be an interesting month for you. There's going to be some ups and downs. There's going to be a lot of push and pull. But you have got this, Air. You are to have this ability to move beyond the illusion, move beyond the nonsense. That's where everything is coming to that very happy ending. The full circle is you've already done this before, so you know how to manage this type of energy again. And with this particular path that is coming forward in October, spiritual growth is a thing for you, but it's going to be more of a spiritual reminder, a tap on the shoulder. You've got this, Air. Why worry about it? It's not worth the headache to stress over this. But your faith in your higher guidance, your God, source, divine, your angels and guides, pay attention to your intuition and see how things play out for you, Air. This is going to be it looks like it's going to be a fun month. The outcome is going to be good, which is perfect. So really stick to your morals, your ethics, that righteous persistence, and see how things play out for you. With that, I will let you guys and gals go. Feel free to comment down below. Let me know how things are playing out for you as we go forward here, and I will see you in the next video.